Hello everybody, today I want to talk about an amazing company that I've been following. The company's name is Lilium, the ticker symbol is LILM. Lilium is a SPAC of my most favorite company called Palantir. Palantir has over a dozen SPACs. When Palantir invests in a SPAC, they give them their enterprise software to use in that company to develop that company, later on showing that Palantir is for everybody, not just one industry, but across all industries. This brings us to Lilium. Lilium is now going to have earnings on September 28th. Recently, Lilium hired a new CEO. The new CEO is Klaus from Airbus. He used to be the CEO of Airbus. When he was the CEO of Airbus, he had the most successful jet in Airbus's history called the A350 jet. As Klaus steps up as the CEO, Daniel Wiegand, who is the co-founder of Lilium, steps down as CEO and chief engineer, and now he can concentrate as just being the chief engineer. This was an extremely solid move. September 28th, they're going to have earnings. I'm going to be covering it live on this channel. I just wanted to explain to you what Lilium does. This is a video for one of my Patreon members. Shout out to Nathan. He asked me to make this video. I'm one of the only YouTubers, if not the only one, that consistently covers Lilium. If you type in on YouTube, 5 of the 10 top videos are mine, which is pretty interesting. Lilium is super early. For me, Lilium is like Tesla in their heyday, before they had the Roadster and just working on it. So Lilium is an EVTOL jet, which stands for Electric Vertical Takeoff and Landing, which means it's a jet that has propellers, 30 propellers on its wings, and the propellers are like drone propellers that allows it to go up and down, okay? Electric vehicle takeoff and electric vehicle landing. This jet can travel the distance of 150 miles and at the speeds of 175 miles. Now they keep increasing it because of the aerodynamics that they keep increasing through partnerships and through research and development, which is really, really cool. For example, they just added landing gear. So now they could land as a regular jet if needed, if conditions permit, or if it's needed. It didn't really cost them anything, and this increases the distance by 20% if it's needed. Really, really cool, right? Lilium has 7 passengers. It has 6 passengers. Lilium can have 7 jet. Lilium is flown by 1 pilot. Passengers can either be 6, 4, or none. In the future, they have plans for a 16-passenger larger jet. That's way, way in the future. So Lilium can have a taxi service of 6 people, or they can have a luxury taxi service of 4 people with some nice little tables in between, so you could do like a business luncheon. Or they could just ship containers, ship products, maybe for Amazon, maybe for Walmart. The thing about Lilium is they can take off and land in any helipad. That's why they were built at that size. Think about how many helipads there are between New York, New Jersey, and all major cities that are across a body of water. If you think about it, it's pretty dope. And they only have to travel from point A to point B in one direct straight line. They don't have to curve, they don't have to go under tunnels, they don't have to worry about traffic. It's just one straight direct line. So right now, Lilium is being tested in Spain. They're going for European aviation approval. There's 4 like audits or points for the European aviation approval. They are already on their 2nd point. They have 2 more after this. Once they get European aviation approval, they will then go to American United States aviation approval, and they coincide, right? So one gives you the other. They don't have to like reapply for everything. It's not like a brand new process. Right now, the Lilium jets are being unmanned, which means there's nobody flying them. It's all being remotely done. This is due to safety, which is great. So Lilium is awesome because they keep making more partnerships, they keep acquiring more personnel, and they're doing all the right things in my personal opinion. And I think that they are super, super under the radar because people don't understand what they do. People think they're a fad, and people think that they will just never take off. Pun intended, you see what I did? Because it's an airplane, you know, electric vehicle takeoff and landing, and they will never take off. I'm a pretty funny guy, aren't I? Is employing something called a go-to-market strategy, which means along the way of making their product, they are marketing it, they are sourcing material, and they are building full exposure for their product. So when they actually hit the market, they can hit the runway running. You see what I did there? Because they're an airplane. Lilium expands on its latest sourcing decision go-to-market strategy. Lilium COO Uves Imzi discusses the decision to source composite structures from Aeronova and Isitura and how the company's M&P choices might evolve. MC says that because Lilium is developing an aircraft for a new mobility marketplace, the company is keen to de-risk its structures fabrication by leveraging established aerospace supply chains. This means Lilium will, for its first generation aircraft, depend on an already qualified material and process deployed by vendors like Aeronova and Isitura, which have a long history serving the EU market. We were looking for the know-how and safety, says Umzi. And I quote, our low-risk approach means we depend initially on existing supply chains. So some people might say this is risky. I say this is a banger of an idea. You outsource. By outsourcing, you're making deals with somebody else. The deals with somebody else helps not only your company, but their company, which means it's not only your connections, but you're getting their connections as well. Lilium is a new company. Right now, worry about getting the airplane up, getting the airplane in flight, and landing it very safely. Outsourcing material is a great idea. Their seats, they were able to outsource their seats. Their seats are 20% lighter than what they originally needed to be. I covered this in another video. They outsourced their cabin, their aerodynamics, and a bunch of other things. I really like that they're using other companies and they have this go-to-market strategy. Lilium is innovating left and right, in my personal opinion. Now, it is such an undervalued stock, in my opinion, because nobody pays attention to it because nobody knows what they do. Check the stock price. This is the price of Lilium, $3. All-time low, $2.16. All-time high, $11.66. The market cap is measly, $878 million. It's under $1 billion. Listen, they have a couple of intent orders, right? Which basically says it's non-binding, that they're going to sell a bunch of their jets. I think the order is like for up to 200 jets between several different companies. Their jets are going to go for around $2.5 million. If they can get approval, this share price should shoot up. If they could just get approval, I see the price of Lilium going to all-time highs. Now, when is this approval going to come? I believe the final approval shall come at the end of 2023. After they get the final approval, then they actually have to be tested in flights and so on and so forth and actually make deals. But just on hype alone of getting the approval that their product works, and that's a big if, by the way, I believe that the share price is going to go up. I really like this innovative product. I really think that it's needed, especially in countries like Dubai, Arab Emirates, places like this. It's for sure needed. That's what I'm betting on, that this is a disruptive technology that can definitely be used. It's cheap enough that people are going to use the product, and I definitely think it's more efficient than what we have right now. So it definitely solves the energy problem, like fossil fuels, things like that, the gas problem. It definitely solves the delivery problem, and it solves the price problem, right? This is my personal opinion. None of this is advice. I'm just an entertainer and educator at best. I gave you the key points about Lilium. I'm looking forward to their earnings, but more importantly than their earnings, their forward-moving statement. Like, I want to know what is happening with them into 2023. I'm not so concerned about financing, money, things like that. In the last earnings, they did mention that they had money. They had enough money to last them, I believe, the next year. So I'm going to be looking at that as well. Guys, thank you so much. Have a great day.